Hello, I am the reluctant writer, and today we're going to be talking about something which will definitely split the room if you don't eat meat or eggs or cheese or anything apart from grass and legumes. If that's all you eat, then you won't like this one. Today we're going to be talking about vegans. Now, this story starts with me going shopping. I do usually when the kids are in school because it costs a lot less money and they can't bankrupt me if they're not there. Uh, Dad, can I have a magazine? No, you just rip it up and it goes in the bin and it costs £8. But Dad, uh, yeah, it's just ridiculous. You always end up giving in and buying them. The £8 magazine. When did magazines start costing £8? It's ridiculous. They're like 25p when I was growing up. They're £8, and it's not just a magazine. It's not just stories now or articles or whatever kids are into. You get like a toy with it or a complete makeup set from L'Oreal or I don't know the makes, but it's just ridiculous. £8 for a magazine, and no. I was browsing the meat aisle, minding my own business, envisioning the T-bone steak, cut medium rare with tender stem broccoli and dauphinoise potatoes. I was doing nothing wrong when I heard somebody by the side of me, tut. Now, I ignored them, obviously, because they're obviously displaying the distaste at the price of something. I moved further on down the aisle, anyway, just get away from Mr. Tutter. Went to look at the lamb. You know, who doesn't like little lamb giblets with loads of salt and pepper? I'm so hungry. I should have eaten before I'd started doing this. Anyway, so I'm looking at the lamb, and then I hear a tuts behind me with a sharp exhale of breath. This time I did turn around, smiling at the noisemaker. She was a lady, still is probably, in her mid-40s, frowning at me. I smiled, moved on, just tried to ignore her. She obviously really hated shopping or something, which is unheard of for women. Maybe she just didn't like steak and lamb. But if so, why was she in the meat aisle to start off with? Another tut as she caught up with me, following me. Do you know what they do to these poor animals? I couldn't resist. Since tutty frowny lady was going to join me for my midweek shop, I thought, well, we might as well chat. Grow them, then slaughter them, then chop them up so we can enjoy dinner. She did not like this. They pump the poor creatures full of steroids, keep them caged, and then murder them in the most humane way. I nodded, and then smiled. But they need to be killed, otherwise they won't fit on the supermarket shelf. She did not find this funny. Do you think it's funny? No, I think it's dinner. Oh, we think we're funny, don't we? Where the hell did all this "we" come from? Well, yeah, I think it's a little funny, sure. Well, I don't! I nodded my head, shrugged my shoulders, and then said, I take it you're a vegetarian. No, I'm certainly not. I'm vegan. So what the fuck are you doing in the meat aisle? Are you just here to start on people like barbecues? Why don't you fuck off to the butter and milk aisle and start on those devilish whipped cream guzzlers? You're disgusting. Oh, you've no idea, love. But what's that got to do with steak? How can you stand there and lecture me? Why are you following me down the aisle while I pick out my dinner? It's a free country. Indeed it is. So free, in fact, I'm able to purchase this animal flesh from the store and do with it what I like. And why are you having a go at me anyway? Haven't you got cabbages to plant or peas to pick from pea trees? But don't you see your actions are killing the planet? Yeah, I do. I do see that. But then I also get home and see the griddle and think, go on, planet murderer, you deserve it. You're not funny. Not even a little funny? Lady, I don't follow you around your allotment telling you how stressed out you're making the carrots. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was the moment our friend, vegan lady, decided to swing her hemp based handbag at me. I managed to duck easy. She, she's no muscles. She leaves for a living. There was no swing in it really. She's just weak and like, "Argh," and it missed. Uh, I shouted at her, telling her to get the fuck away from me. Pushed her to get her away from me. And it's at this moment the security guard decided to come around the corner of the aisle and then accuse me of assaulting the lady. Whoa, whoa, calm down. You can't do that, pushing women, the security guard told me. And I just turned to him and said, listen, mate, not a woman, she's a vegan. Because that's how she wants to be identified as. I'm not a woman. I am what I eat, I guess. So she's a leaf on the floor. And so I walked out of the supermarket. I left my T-bone steak and I went to the butcher's and bought an even bigger T-bone steak and then took it home, cooked it as rare as possible just to spite her. Hemp bag throwing bloody woman. Yeah. Now I could sit here and slag vegans off to high heaven. There's so much material, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Taking the piss is kind of my stock in trade, and I could subscribe to that particular brand of funny. God knows it wouldn't stretch the imagination to come up with something to say about a race of people who only eat grass and nuts. Oh, and corn. They eat corn. Those poor little feathered corns running around the fields. Watch out, corn chick. Quick, hide! A vegan's coming! Hide behind the cow! They're allergic. I could argue that eating meat is part of who we are as a species. And this goes back 2.6 million years when our ancestors started eating meat and marrow. At the time, fruit and vegetables were plenty, but they didn't pack the punch calorie-wise. That's why we started eating meat. And this was a time when calories equaled survival. No, sorry, love. We're not eating that furry brown melon that ran off when we approached it. We're vegans again now. Oh, right, but the lads are off hunting. No need anymore. Here, have a berry. But I've got a new spear. We're vegan. Have a nut. But, oh, will you stop arguing? We'll go and hunt some grass. You like that grass that we ate the other week? It's not really hunting though, is it? I preferred the hairy brown melon that ran away, so we had to chase it. Grab the basket. No, I'm not going down that route because I agree with everything they believe in. Not her, not crazy woman with swingy bag in the supermarket. I hope she chokes on the next lentil that she eats. I believe in the movement. I understand. I get that as meat eaters are killing the planet. And here's why. We don't actually need meat or dairy products to survive. The human body wasn't designed / evolved, depending on your belief system. I'm not riding on that cage right now. That's another thing. We weren't made to ingest bovine milk, cow milk. Here's the thing. When we're born, we suckle at our mother's teeth. That milk has all the nutrition and stuff that we'll need to grow. It's from the place that grew us. It's 100% the best stuff we could have. The same goes for cows. Early man didn't one day wake up thinking, do you know what? I'm growing tired of all that water I'm drinking from the stream. That cool thirst quenching brilliance of it doesn't cut no mustard with me anymore. I'm going to go and have a play with that heavily pregnant cow's tits, see what comes out of them. It's believed our ancestors first began milking cows to avoid starvation. At the time, we were all lactose intolerant, and it's only through genetic mutation that our guts have evolved to be able to handle the milk of another species. Early milk drinkers would have suffered through the body's inability to digest the milk they were drinking, but that suffering was better than starving. From milk then came butter and cheese, staples in our everyday diet these days, and cornerstone of the modern food industry. But our body doesn't need them. Our bodies have adapted to tolerate these food sources, and with their popularity, the modern age of farming was born. These days, we add baby cow juice to our morning coffee, drench our cornflakes in it, add it to a variety of different foods to make it taste nice. But we don't need it. Our bodies don't need baby cow juice because it's for baby cows. I understand this and I support it completely. But have you ever tried ice cream without the cream? That shit's just ice. Ever drink a milkshake without a milk? That's just shake. Not a drink, just shake. Milk is a bedrock of our food industry. And to produce it, we need a lot of cows, a shitload of them, all getting their tits sucked so that we can have a morning coffee with milk in it and to claim that the calcium helps our kids' bones grow stronger. But I'll tell you a little secret. Before the first farmer started fiddling with the cattle and discovered the white stuff, we weren't all running around with weak, bendy and brittle bones. Timmy, what's happened? I fell again. You fell because you were running and you have no strength in your shit feet. Yeah. Oh, come here, little man. Where does it hurt? Everywhere. Because you've been drinking the water from the stream instead of the milk from the cow's tits. Oh, bless. Look over there. Look over there in that field with all the cows and the calves. You never see any of them walking around all winking, pathetic and limp. Go on. Go and have a pull on Nessie's tit and have a couple of godfuls. That'll sort your shit bones out. Okay. No. We received the nutrients our bodies needed through a milkless diet, and our bodies were doing just fine. Sure, drinking a shake wasn't as delicious, but what did we know? Milk wasn't a thing yet. I get it. We don't need milk to survive. But we don't need porn either. Yeah, try and type anything into Google's search bar beginning with the word Thai, and you're bound to be inundated with pop-ups of the most beautiful Asian women, all with massive cocks. Society doesn't run on the needs of people. It runs on the wants. We want more steak and milk, butter and cheese. Fuck it. Let's turn that rainforest into grazing ground for our crops. Sure, we're starving the earth because it can't produce as much oxygen, but at least this weekend's barbecue is still a go. It really is staggering. Because I like to be an informed piss taker, I do the research so that I do get it. I understand the argument from both sides. My side is easy. I love steak. I enjoy cheese. I live for butter. I know they're clogging up my arteries, but doesn't it all taste just so lovely? Come on. And besides, arteries are overrated. It's the side of the vegan, or rather the radicalised vegan, which I find interesting. Normal vegans, who are real normal people, are not all about swatting you around the head with the monkey-friendly handbag. They choose not to eat meat, fish and dairy because they're doing their bit to try and help save the world from the downward spiral it's heading in. What downward spiral? I hear you ask. Well, I'll tell you. At present, there's roughly 7.5 billion people living on this planet, double that of just 50 years ago. The demand for food is forever skyrocketing while we're running out of room. At present, the human population drinks 5.2 billion gallons of water and eats 21 billion pounds of food each day. Compare that to the world's 1.5 billion cows, who drink 45 billion gallons of water and eat 135 billion pounds of food every day, and already you can see something's up. The water that the cows drink could be used to grow crops on the grounds the cows would have grazed, and there would be a hell of a lot more food to go around than the milk and the steak that all that water and food are producing to feed the cow and water the cow. It's just basic maths. So basically, if you had a sandwich and instead of eating it yourself, you fed that sandwich to a squirrel and the squirrel ate it, and you kept feeding your sandwich to the squirrel, and then over and over and over and over again, and then at the end of it, you killed the squirrel and had this tiny shit bit of meat. That's the same. Here's another way of looking at it. The Earth's surface, if you take out the oceans and the waterways, consists of about 8 billion acres of land suitable for growing crops. That's a little over an acre each, according to the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. I'm guessing they know what they're talking about. In order to sustain a standard American diet, comprising heavily of animal protein and dairy, it's estimated each person would need around 3 acres a year, with most of that land going to growing crops to feed the animals. So simple maths can be used to show how unsustainable eating meat is. 8 billion acres, the land we have on Earth, divided by 7.5 billion of us equals about a third of the room we'd need to keep on eating how we do as meat eaters. Alternatively, if we cut out meat and dairy and started eating lentils and shit, not shit, although eco-friendly, it tastes like shit. We would each need just a sixth of an acre every year to sustain ourselves. That would mean we could allow 5 billion football fields worth of trees to grow. That would regenerate our planet's lungs. Or we could expand food production for the world's growing population, which will hit 11 billion, I reckon, by 2050. So yes, I get it. There really is no argument from me. As meat eaters are literally starving our homes of the oxygen by cutting down all the trees to produce more farmland so that we can eat steak and pour baby cow juice all over our cereal in the morning. But these aren't the arguments the radicalised vegan makes when preaching or swinging their dolphin-friendly handbag in your face. All they do is call you disgusting. Well, I'll tell you what would be disgusting. It's a hot day, you invite your mates around, just kicking back in the garden. The tunes are playing, the beer's flowing, you make a fire in the barbecue. This is going to be an afternoon to remember. What, we having steak? A nice ribeye? Marinated chicken thighs? Do you have any of that lamb? That was lovely last time. No, my friends. Today we're having nut roast and a nice 5-bean salad. What do you mean? We're not eating meat anymore. I'm done murdering the earth. Well, what dressing's on the salad? No dressing. We won't be doing dairy either. Did you know that humans were once lactose intolerant? We'll just put a little bit of olive oil on it. I'm leaving, mate. This is shit. You're taking the piss. Just try this assortment of nuts I've laid out for us. They're to die for. To die for? I'm starving here. I haven't come to graze on nuts. I want meat. But you're killing the planet. You're killing me, offering me 5-bean salad with no dressing. It's dressing that makes the salad. Eat meat, don't eat meat. Live on a plant-based diet, eat the rarest steak you can find. Whatever you do, don't preach about it. And certainly, don't be loitering around meat aisles with your llama-friendly handbag swinging. It's just not cool. I have been the reluctant writer, Rob Radcliffe, and this was my story time. Until next time.